This is Marc Mason in the Comics Waiting Room. I am here with writer Chris Roberson. Hello.
Howdy.
So many places to start. Let's go with 1 year later, Monkeybrain.
Monkeybrain. That's a thing that we did. It is happening.
You started this amazing digital comics publishing company, and it is really taken off. 1 year later, what is the outcome versus your expectations of what you thought it would be?
You know, the first thing is, like, our expectation was that we would spend a year just telling people we existed. And that we would have to be out constantly beating the bushes and just, you know, Monkeybrain is the thing that is happening, you should check it out. And a year later, we have an Eisner win for Paul Tobin and Colin Cooper's Bandette. And now we don't have to tell people who we are. People say, oh, are you the Monkeybrain people? I'm like, yeah, we are. You know, the money generated by the sales is fairly modest, but it's growing and cumulative. The thing about digital is that things never go out of print. They're always available, and so whenever someone hears about something, they can always start at the beginning. You can always get on the ground floor, and you don't have to go hunting for it. And we found that month over month, the sales are slowly building for everything. So yeah, it's fantastic.
And you're continuing to add titles. You have, I think, 35 now.
Do we? That sounds like a lot. Yeah, I guess.
Do you see a ceiling on how big a publisher you want to be?
Yeah, because, you know, my wife Allison Baker and I are Monkeybrain. There's no other existence to the entity other than that, and it's something that we do in our free time. What other people would do for, you know, fun, playing video games, going on vacation, seeing movies, we're playing around in Photoshop and running press releases and stuff like that. So there is just a practical limit on how much we can do. But also we want to give the appropriate amounts of attention to everything we do. Like, I don't think we would do good service if we were to release, you know, dozens and dozens of titles at once. They would get lost. And so by focusing, at this point we do on average 2 books a week. And we never launch 2 new titles at the same time. So that we can focus all of our attention on, here's this new thing, and here's the new installment of the thing you already liked. And I think that helps give a proper amount of attention. And so I don't think that we're ever going to be much bigger than we are now in terms of the number of things that we do. Because a lot of them are planned as limited series or one-shots or whatever, and other things will take this place. Yeah.
And of course, you write
yeah.
for your own company. I read the first Edison Rex trade, and I was really charmed by it.
Thank you.
Do you see yourself putting more of your own titles into it?
You know, at the outset, that was the plan. But what I found is, in much the same way, like, I want to give the proper amount of attention to my own stuff. And so I've got So I'll probably do a little bit of other things, but yeah, I would never want to turn it into like a clearinghouse for my work. Because at the same time, I like collaborations, and I also like collaborating with other publishers. And so I've got a book that's at Oni that just launched this week, Mysterious Strangers with Scott Kolchak, and eventually I'm going to be doing a thing with Image. So yeah, I think it'll be Edison Rex and maybe 1 or 2 other things eventually.
Speaking of the Oni book, it was the Free Comic Book Day entry from Oni this year. That's kind of a big deal. Were you pretty pleased about that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to work with Oni for a long time because I've always admired what they've done since the earliest days, and have gotten to know the people there socially over the years. And we talked for a long time about, like, trying to find a project that would be a good fit. And I've just been really, really gratified by, like, how supportive they've been. They really have gotten out to push that book, and I hope it works out for everybody.
You've also kind of been the master of pulp lately for Dynamite.
Yeah.
You did the Masks series, which brought together like every pulp character they have. How complex was that? I imagine that there had to be a real challenge on a number of levels.
No. Not really, because, you know, those kinds of things, I've been really, really fortunate in my comics career that every work for hire gig I've gotten has been on something that I was already really passionate about. So in every instance, I don't have to do research. Like I'm lucky enough to land these jobs for things I'm already obsessed with, and then it was just the fun challenge of how to fit that puzzle together and what to do with it. It wasn't really hard at all. It was fun.
Interesting. I expected it would have been a nightmare of waiting for licensor approval.
Well, that's their business. That Nick Rucci and Joe Ryback can worry about that. I'm just going to sit down and write. But yeah, amazingly, I don't think there was a single note. I don't think there was a single thing we had to change. Maybe they were fending him off or dealing with him, but they never came back to me and asked me to change anything.
You've also been writing The Shadow, and the current arc. It's really interesting to me that you've given him almost the perfect antagonist in The Light. Where did that come from in your head?
It was exactly that. It was flip the script on The Shadow, because I've liked a lot of the other Shadow comics that Dynamite's been doing and other people have done. But I think that, I'm a fan of. I'm fairly old-fashioned and conservative in my tastes, and I wanted to do a Shadow story that felt like a Gibson Shadow story that had the kind of structure of a villain and menace in the city. And I thought, well, let's take the Shadow and just kind of flip everything about him. So rather than the Shadow, it's the light, kind of light-based powers. Vaguely. Instead of a man, it's a woman. Instead of somebody from the West who's schooled in the mystic ways of the East, it's a woman from the East who is schooled in the mystic ways of the West. She's raised by Templars, essentially. And yeah, just toss them together.
And how many issues to go in that arc?
It's going to be 6 altogether. So I guess 2 or 3 of them come out. I think I have 1 more left to write, and then I've already lined up the next 6-issue arc, which will be all about the Gearsol ring.
Excellent. So you are not going to be slowing down anytime soon.
No.
Full steam ahead on everything.
Yep.
Excellent. Chris,
Beats the alternative.
Beautiful. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you.